Hi, Tommy. I picked the problems that you got wrong with the assignment where you're doing it by hand. As far as the calculator ones, it's either all right or all wrong. You did the calculator right, so I'm not sure we did wrong with that. So that you're gonna have to make a video yourself. Put the problems in the video, like do the problem in the video, and then email it to me at kcerami@shp.org so I can see what you did wrong. Calculator, just putting the numbers in it and it comes out. But this I can do for you. So you want number one, you want to make sure it's in standard form. So you want the square term, the regular term, and then the constant all equaling 0. And I would write out what everything equals. So A equals 1, B equals -2, and C equals 2. And then you write the formula out. Negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Now substitute negative B is the same thing as opposite of B. Opposite of -2 is 2. Plus or minus the square root of -2 squared minus 4 times 1. You're just substituting times 2 all over 2A. Instead of writing 2A, just write 2 times 1, which is 2. Now you need to simplify inside the radical like you did with the discriminant before. So this would be the discriminant. So -2 squared is +4. -2 times -2 is a +4. Minus, you're going to multiply this all together, -8 all over 2. And then when you simplify it, you're going to come up with 2 plus or minus the square root of -4 over 2. Well, in class we talked about when you have a negative inside the radical, you're going to pull the I out. Negative square root of -1, same thing as I, and you're left with the square root of 4. Square root of 4 is a perfect square. So square root of 4 is 2. So you're going to have plus or minus 2i. The radical disappears because we have all perfect squares inside. And if you can divide all three of these by the same number, then you do so to simplify. You can divide all by 2. So it's 1 plus or minus 1i, just so you can see it better, over 1. Anything over 1 is 1, so it's just 1 plus or minus I. Okay, the next one. You have to put this in order first, set this equal to 0. So we're going to have 4v squared plus 4v plus 5 equals 0. Again, A equals 4, B equals 4, and C equals 5. So negative B plus or minus, just so you can see the formula, B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So negative B in this case will be -4, plus or minus 4 squared is 16, minus 4 times A times 5, I'm just substituting, all over 2A, which is 8. So when you simplify the discriminant, you're going to have 16 minus 80. You can use your calculator to do that. I did it fast because I did 4 times 5 is 20. 20 times 4 is 80, all over 8. Simplify inside. And we're going to get -4 plus or minus the square root of -64 all over 8. 64. And hold on, there's a mistake with this. Okay, so you're going to have -4 plus or minus, you have a negative inside, so take out an I, and square root of 64 is 8. It's a perfect square, so it's 8i. So before we left for break, we were doing imaginary numbers. So just to break it down, square root of -64 is the same thing as square root of -1 times square root of 64. So this would be 8i. You could divide all three of these by 4. So you'll get -1 plus or minus 2i over 2. And that's how we come up with that answer there. The next one, again, set equal to 0. So you're left with 5x squared minus 2x plus 5 equals 0. A equals 5, B equals -2, and C equals 5. So again, just writing the formula out. So negative B is opposite of B, which is 2, plus or minus B squared. -2 times -2 is a 4. B squared will always be positive. Minus 4 times 5 times 5, all over 2A, which is 10. So we have 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 100 over 10, which is going to give me 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 96 over 10. So 96 is going to be 6 times 16. 16 is the perfect square, so you could plot a 4. So we're going to have 2 plus or minus, and there's a negative inside, so 4i root 6 over 10. Divide everything by 2, and you're left with 1 plus or minus 2i root 6 over 5. And the last one that you requested to see, we're going to have 2r squared plus 4r plus 3 equals 0. Set them all equal to 0. Again, a equals 2, b equals 4, and c equals 3. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Negative b in this case is going to be a negative 4 plus or minus 16 minus 4, I'm just substituting. And 2a, I just do 2 times 2, which is 4. So that's going to give us negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 24 over 4. Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 8 over 4. Now we have to simplify square root of negative 8. So over here, square root of negative 8, we know we're going to take an I out. So it's I root 8. 8 is 4 times 2. Take the square root of 4, which is 2. So it's 2i root 2. So we're going to have negative 4 plus or minus 2i root 2 over 4. You could divide each of these numbers by the 2. So we'll get negative 2 plus or minus I root 2 over 2, which is that answer there. All right, do a couple of these in your textbook, and the odd answers are in the back, and then you could feel free to email me your work if it's wrong, and I'll identify in your work where it's wrong. We can keep going back and forth every day if you want. As far as the other assignment, it's a calculator assignment, so maybe you just put it in wrong, try it again. If it doesn't work, just take a video of it. That's the only way I could see it, and the best way I could see it. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.